Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus Channel. An attacking M1 Abrams with its cannon pointed would be the worst nightmare for an enemy troop. Its survivability, firepower, and mobility make the M1 unassailable and lethal in all terms. Starting its reign in 1980, the M1 Abrams has come a long way toward the most recent variant, which is the M1A2. The M1 got its name in honor of the U.S. Army General Creighton Williams Abrams, who was a commander in the Vietnam War. M1 Abrams tanks have traveled across the world, playing a key role as the main battle tank. Nearly 2,000 Abrams served in the Persian Gulf War and Saudi Arabia, along with other wars in the Middle East. Transporting this behemoth, weighing around 70 short tons, is never an easy task. Rail transportation is often used by the U.S. Army to transport its troops and heavy equipment. Railroads connect Army depots to transfer points. At a transfer point, truck-to-rail or sea-to-rail transfer can take place. During Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003, the Army transported more than 1 million tons of equipment via rail transportation to departure ports for further transportation into the theater. Prior to each transportation event, the Army conducts a pre-planning exercise to verify that all the railroad equipment is in the correct order. To accommodate oversized tanks and other armored vehicles, a specially designed DODX flat car is used by the U.S. Army. Usually, this comes in two configurations. The 50-foot flat car rated for 100 tons can accommodate one M1 Abrams, and the larger 68-foot variant rated for 140 tons can accommodate two M1 Abrams. Once all the tanks are loaded on the flat car, each tank should be secured to avoid inadvertent movement. Securing is done by two means. The first method is blocking the road wheels with wheel blocks. The M1 Abrams tank has 7 road wheels per side, located inside the Caterpillar track. The second method is tying down the tank to the rail car. DODX flat cars that accommodate these tanks are equipped with a special load securing system. This system has 4 anchor channels that run along the length of the car. Anchors with chains and turnbuckles are also provided to secure the vehicle to the channels. Once the tank is in the correct position, the anchors are firmly seated on the anchor channels and then locked in position. These tie-down chains are placed around the tank symmetrically, and the preferred tie-down angle is 45 degrees. After installing the chains, personnel use spanners to tighten the turnbuckle to remove any slack in the chains. This makes the tank firmly tied to the anchor channels from all 4 points. Traveling on the railroad is ideal for inland transportation. But what if M1 Abrams tanks want to fly overseas? In this case, C-17 Globemaster would be the best fit. M1 tanks can drive directly into the cargo bay of the C-17 thanks to its aft loading ramp. The aircraft can accommodate one M1 Abrams tank in its cargo bay along with other military vehicles. When the C-17 is loaded with tracked vehicles, like M1s, it can flip the rollers on the cargo floor to create a flat surface. When one Abrams tank is loaded into a C-17, it takes almost 88% of the payload capacity of the aircraft. Once loaded into the cargo bay, soldiers are left with the most painstaking task of securing the tank. Unlike all other transportation means, securing the tank is extremely important when carried inside an airplane. Even the slightest movement could upset the stability of the aircraft. Like railroad transportation, the tanks are tied to the floor with high-strength chains. A chain tied to the tank is connected to a tie-down device. The tie-down device has a hook that will go into a tie-down ring that is mounted on the cargo floor of the aircraft. All the tie-down chains are attached symmetrically at 45 degrees for even load distribution. To complete the securing process, airmen measure the length of all tie-down pairs. Two chains in a pair should be the same length to avoid tension building on one chain when loads are applied. A loaded M1 tank must reverse across the ramp to offload. As the driver is facing forward, he's blind to the rear. An airman guides the driver with hand signals during the offloading process. The M1 Abrams is a tank that is operated in many friendly countries. During multinational training events such as Operation Atlantic Resolve, M1 tanks were used with allies. During these training events and competitions, U.S. soldiers get the opportunity to deploy their tanks in unknown environments. Various tank transport vehicles are used to move tanks within Germany. Soldiers with the 16th Sustainment Brigade transported M1 Abrams from Coleman Worksite in Mannheim, Germany to Grafenfeld, Germany. The tanks were loaded on a tank transport vehicle, and each tank was secured to avoid any unwanted movement on the road trip. The tank transport vehicles had a unique load securing system to accommodate the M1 Abrams. Initially, the tanks were positioned perfectly on the transport vehicles, and then they were tied to the surface using turnbuckles, chains, and anchors. After After installing the chains, the personnel used spanners to tighten the turnbuckle to remove any slack in the chains, which further enhanced the grip of the tank with the surface. For conducting exercise Defender Europe 20, the first U.S. military convoy containing soldiers from the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team and 3rd Infantry Division crossed the border between Germany and Poland at the border crossing of Kobaskovo. The convoy included vehicles such as Humvees, Heavy Expanded Mobility Tactical Trucks, or HEMTTs, and Medium Tactical Vehicles, or FMTVs.
Although the vehicles will move in the marked column, this column is not privileged, so the driver must obey the traffic regulations and, in particular, move the right lane.
All of these vehicles took part in the exercise Defender Europe 20. The convoy crossed the border at night so that it would not have any effect on civilian traffic. Before deploying soldiers to a new location, preparations must be made beforehand to ensure a successful transition, especially when it comes to getting the necessary equipment. It is easy to just draw the equipment from the nearby Army prepositioned stock rather than shipping it. However, the process of the APS draw must start in the early stages of planning to ensure everything is in order. The APS program is designed to save money and provide fairly new equipment to the unit. Moreover, it helps prevent maintenance problems with the vehicles because the equipment is checked and maintained on site to ensure it will be ready at a moment's notice. Once the inventory begins, the units conduct a component-level inventory for each item and then conduct preventative maintenance checks on the equipment. The entire brigade works collectively to sign for the equipment, inventory it, and move it to the other locations in Europe. Before Defender Europe 20 began, the U.S. military personnel ensured everything was ready, especially the battle tanks to be used for live fire exercises. Therefore, the soldiers checked the fuel level of each battle tank and refueled it if necessary. This ensured the battle tanks were ready to roll, and no hindrances occurred during the live fire exercises. During Defender Europe 20's first phase, nearly 6,000 U.S. and Polish soldiers participated in joint training in Poland's Drawsko-Pomorskie training area. For the second phase, the U.S. deployed more than 550 soldiers to Europe to participate in the month-long training phase for this U.S. Army Europe-led exercise. Demonstrating its emergency deployment readiness, the strategic deployment of soldiers to Poland showcased the Army's ability to alert and deploy its forces across the globe rapidly. On August 11, 2020, these soldiers participated in a combined arms live fire exercise, firing several live rounds from approximately 55 Abrams tanks and Bradley fighting vehicles. The M1 Abrams is more than just a powerful main battle tank. It represents an entire system of mobility, logistics, and coordination that allows armored forces to be deployed anywhere in the world. From rail cars and heavy transporters to strategic airlift and prepositioned stockpiles, every movement of an Abram is the result of careful planning and precise execution. These behind-the-scenes efforts ensure that when tanks arrive on the battlefield, they are fully fueled, properly maintained, and ready to fight. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.